Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how you can call leads 5 minutes after they've filled out a form using AI voice agents. I'm going to show you how to set up the AI voice agents in VAPI. I'm going to show you how to integrate those AI voice agents directly into GoHighLevel Workflows, and I'm also going to show you the automation that allows you to send appointment links to those leads directly on the phone. Now, I know this video is quite long, so feel free to watch it on 1.5 or 2x speed as long as you can still fully digest everything that I'm about to say. So with that being said, let's just dive right in. Okay, so here we are in VAPI. This is the platform that we build out the AI voice agents. Now, I'm not going to go into every single setting in VAPI because there's honestly about 100 videos out there where everyone else has already done that for me. If you guys really want me to go into it, then I can put that in my list of videos to do. But to be honest, there's already a shitload of content out there about all the different settings, so I'm not going to go into that right now. What I will show you is my prompt, because I think that's something that people are usually pretty interested in, and there's loads of different ways that you can do this to get the same outcome. This is just the way that I like to do it. It's very detailed, it's quite simple to follow. So yeah, let's just go right in. First message. This is just the message that the AI is going to say as soon as the person answers the call. So just, hi, this is Lucas from LeadFlow, can you hear me? I do realise that I've spelt that L-E-E-D, and the reason for that is because when the AI was calling the leads, it kept saying lead flow, and it was really pissing me off. Another thing, this example, I've just set up a kind of fake business lead flow. They help businesses get more leads, and this AI is phoning people who have submitted a form, you know, kind of registering their interest in getting more leads. So, first line, this is Lucas from LeadFlow, can you hear me okay? Yes, I can hear you okay. Perfect. Introduction and tone. This is what people would probably refer to as role prompting. So you're basically telling the AI who it is and who it's kind of working for. So you're an appointment setter for LeadFlow, reaching out to people who have expressed interest. Your aim, you know, keep things friendly, approachable, chatting to someone, a couple of extra things about the tone. One thing I will say is that when you are writing prompts for your AI assistants, it's really important that you actually write the prompt the way that you would like the AI to speak. Because if you write your prompt in a really serious tone, the AI is going to sound like a pure bot when it gets on the phone. It's going to be like, would you like an appointment? Or just very serious. And we want the AIs to sound as natural and human as possible, so it would make sense that we want it to sound casual, conversational, and easygoing. So therefore, you should write your prompt in a casual, conversational, and easygoing tone. So the way that I normally do that is I write the prompt in the kind of serious, straight to the point way that you normally would, and then I just copy and paste it, put it into ChatGPT, and tell ChatGPT to write it in a casual conversation and an easygoing tone. Very simple, very kind of logic, but something that a lot of people I don't think have really considered. So second part, objective. We obviously want to tell the AI what it's supposed to be doing, and this is actually quite an important point when we come down to the third part, which I'll go into, and it's if the AI has different objectives, you need to identify that here. Obviously with an appointment setting agent, it's a bit different because it only has one objective, but if your AI has different objectives, you need to tell it that. Okay, so main goal, ask a few simple qualifying questions about the lead's motivations, and then see if they want to schedule in for an appointment. Awesome. Collect the information in a natural way, blah blah blah. Use the send appointment link tool. I'll come on to the tool stuff, so don't worry about that. A lot of the time you'll see is that I'm just adding extra stuff in about, you know, being natural, don't be pushy, because the last thing we want is the AI to kind of put someone off, especially after they've just filled out a form. We want that first interaction to be really kind of casual, really friendly, and make the lead feel at ease, pretty much. So third part, call script. Now, with the call script, I am usually pretty hesitant to make a call script like this, because if there's anything that kind of throws a spanner in the works with the call, i.e. if the lead ask something random or wants to take the conversation in a different direction, the call, having a strict call structure or call script like this usually kind of throws the AI off. But with something like appointment setting, a lot of the conversations, I would say 99% of the conversations, can go pretty smoothly, especially if they've just filled out a form. Because it's not like you're calling them a couple of days later and they're like, who is this? They've literally just filled out a form saying that they're interested, and then you're calling them to say, hey, what were you interested about? It's really kind of straightforward. So I'm going to try not read out every single line here because that's boring. But for the first line here, just to make sure, is this name from company name. What I've done with the curly brackets, which I'll show you how I did that in GoHighLevel, is I've basically pulled dynamic data from the form to make the call personalized. Now in this example, I've only used name and company name. So if it was just to make sure, is this Matt from FutureFlow? Cool. Then the lead knows that this call is for them, it's personalized. It just makes the interaction a lot better. You could also pull, if they identified a specific service they were interested in, you could say, oh, I saw you were interested in lead generation, or I saw you're interested in web design. It was really good to pull these dynamic pieces of data because it makes the call a lot more personalized, and the lead just feels like, yeah, these guys are on it. They know what they're talking about. They know what I'm looking for, and it just makes for a lot better first impression on that lead. So in this call, essentially, I'm just phoning these people and trying to ask a couple more qualifying questions. And with the phone call qualifying questions, I like to ask more kind of emotional questions, because if you ask a prospect or a lead a more emotional question like, how would this affect your business or your life more generally? If they are to then type that answer, they're not going to give a good answer. They're going to give a way better answer if you phone them and ask that question, because they can go into more detail. It's a lot more responsive. Like, you're just going to get much better answers. I mean, we can ask questions like, if you had to choose just one thing that might be stopping you, what would that be? You're going to get a much more transparent answer if you're doing that over the phone. So that's the reason I like to ask a couple more qualifying questions before I try and book them in for an appointment. It also helps your closer on the other end to get a better idea of who this prospect is, what's motivating them, what might hold them back, and help them overcome those objections when you get onto the call. All of these details will be updated on the contact within GoHighLevel, and I'll show you how we do that once we get to GoHighLevel. So now we're at the point in the script where the AI is trying to book them in for an appointment. So, got it, Matt, from what you told me, sounds like we definitely help you, blah, 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 blah. Could we arrange a time in the next few days to jump on a quick call? Would you be open to that? Yes. Perfect. I'm going to text you a link where you can choose a time that suits you. Can you just confirm what the best number to send the link to is? So, as you'll see in the tool usage guidelines here, asking for their number is the cue for the AI to then send them the appointment link. And we do that using tools, which I'm going to show you. But just to reiterate, this is like we're giving the AI a cue to then send the appointment link. So yes, or they say the number. Okay, sending that over just now. Let me know when you've received it. I'll stay in the line until you find a time that works. The reason I write this part is because when I speak to people, they say, oh, well, you get drop off because they're not going to book when you're on the phone. But no, we're saying to the person on the phone, I'm going to stay on the line until you book in. And the person doesn't know that the AI or the person won't know if they've booked in or not. So they'll just be like, okay, hit the link, book in a time, fill in their details, boom. And we get the same effect that we would if we were trying to find a time, but it's just a lot more, I don't know, it just creates a much better conversational flow rather than having to go back and forth with, does this time work or does that time work? Like, especially with AIs, sometimes they can get a bit messy and they just leave like a bad impression on the person, or even reveals to the person that it's an AI, and then some people get put off by that, and we don't really want that. So so we've sent the link. So this is initiated, this is cued the AI to send it. It should have sent, and then we say, at this point, the person has the appointment link. So if you click the link, it should take you to a calendar, just choose a time. I'll stay in the line in case you have any questions. So we're staying on the line, making sure they book in. Then the person says, okay, I've chose Tuesday at 2 p.m. Perfect. That's everything for now. If you have any questions between now and your call, please don't hesitate to message us. Otherwise, really looking forward to potentially working together. We're just closing up there. So that's the end of the call script. And a couple of extra things that I like to do. Tool usage guidelines. So we're giving the AI more instructions on when to use the tool. So use the send appointment link function after you've confirmed the best number to send a link to. Like I said, we're giving it the cue. If there's an error with the send appointment link, i.e. the user says they haven't received the message, reassure them that you'll send them an appointment link once the call finishes. And we can then do something with the GoHighLevel Workflow, which puts that lead into a certain part in the pipeline that we know that the AI spoke to them, but they haven't received the appointment link. And we can then follow up with them by sending them an appointment link or giving them another phone call. Guiding the conversation, like I said, it's really important to get the AI to understand the specific tone and how it should kind of guide the conversation, like it says in the title. A really important one here, only ask one question at a time. You don't want the AI to ask a question and then ask another question after that, because that's just not realistic and it's just annoying. Confirming the number, wait for the user to confirm the number is correct before you move on. So what that's saying is get the AI to read the number back to the person so that the person can confirm it's the right number or not, because sometimes the AI gets the number wrong or cuts the person off early. I'm just being completely honest here. So we want the AI to read back the number to someone and say, just to make sure, is this blah blah blah, and they go, yeah. AI goes, perfect, thank you. Handling uncertainty or hesitation. We're obviously trying to book someone in for an appointment, and sometimes people don't want to be booked in for an appointment, so we're just giving the AI some instructions about how to handle people like that. And then closing, just closing thing up, friendly, whatever. Fallbacks, this is kind of similar to handling uncertainty or hesitation, but we're just kind of reiterating that, there's no pressure, we're just trying to be relaxed, we're not trying to, invade someone's privacy. We just want to ask a couple questions and book you in for an appointment to see if we can help. Now, the notes part, this is something that would probably grow, like the list would probably start quite small, but then grow as you test the agent. Because the way prompts work, and there is genuinely scientific evidence of this, that stuff or pieces of content at the end of the prompt and the start of the prompt are remembered better. I don't even know if that's a word or saying that I can use, but the AI remembers those parts a lot better than it does the middle. I don't know what it's called. I will leave it in the comments if you guys really want. But basically, these notes have been filled out by testing the agent. So when I was testing the agent, for example, it kept saying, thanks for sharing that. And it was fucking annoying. So I said, don't acknowledge the response with thanks for sharing that. I redefined what gatekeeper means, which I'll go on to. If the lead asks to schedule a callback, mark follow up, because this was something that it was having trouble doing. Use the send appointment link. That happened because sometimes it wasn't sending the appointment link. And then also remember to say the first line. So some of the times when I was testing it, it wouldn't say this line, and then we were leaving out the personalization part, and I just feel like the conversation was a lot better when it had that personalization. So that's the prompt. I'll give you guys this full prompt in a document, and you can kind of just edit it however you want. For voice, I'm not going to go into this stuff because it's boring, and the voice stuff you can play around with in voice library here. You just go in, listen to a couple of voices, stick them in here. It literally takes 2 seconds to change it, test it out, see what voices that you like, and just go from there. So tools. This is an important part, so please listen. Tools is how we get the AI to perform actions on the call. So like I said, the AI is sending an appointment link to someone while it's on the call. And in order to do that, we have to create a tool which sends a message to an automation platform to actually send that person the link. So the tool that I've created for this one is send appointment link. Obviously we have tool details, a tool description. This is like so simple and people really overcomplicate it. If you're really struggling to write your tool description or your property descriptions, then you can literally just go into ChatGPT and ask it. But obviously, just look at that and you'll understand that it's pretty simple. For this tool, we only need the number. So that's why we say, can you just confirm what's the best number to send it to? And then the AI will pick up that that's the phone number that they should send the appointment link to. And yeah, that is literally the only thing that you need to set up for this send appointment link tool. I will do another video about tools because some tools are a bit more complicated than others. I'll actually just show you how you connect the tool to the automation platform. In fact, I can just show you here. So if we go integration, server URL, and basically we take the webhook in the automation platform, this, copy, server URL, paste, different, paste that. That's it. Oh my god, that was so hard. Okay, so we've got our assistant, we have our tool. Now, and the last part that is really important, which is probably a bit different from what you've seen, is the analysis part. So this is really important actually for the notes on GoHighLevel. So when the call finishes, the AI sends what it calls an end of call report. Basically, like it says in the name, it's a report about the call. So we want to send that to GoHighLevel so that we can update the contact's notes, where it is in the pipeline, what happened on the call. All that stuff is done through this end of call report. So summary, we want to have a summary of the call and we want to see the answers for the qualifying questions. Now, some people might put the answers for the qualifying questions as structured data properties, but we're not going to do that. I'm going to show you why. Success evaluation, this I literally just, if the call was successful, it means that the person answered all my questions and the call ended on good terms. That's my version of a successful call in this respect. Whatever situation that you're doing, you can create your own version of a successful call, and you have different success evaluation metrics. They say rubric, but it's just a fancy way of saying metric. I hate how in all these things they just add complicated language to confuse people. It did confuse me at one point, so don't worry about that. Now we come to structured data. So this part is really, really important for the GoHighLevel aspect, because when we phone leads, we want to know what happened. Like, if it wasn't successful, what happens to that lead? Like, do they just stay in the pipeline? You don't know what's happening? No. You want that lead to move into whatever pipeline is where they should go. So basically, at the end of these calls, the end of call report, we want to kind of categorize what sort of, what's the best word for this? What was the outcome of the call? So for these appointment setting calls to people who filled out the form, these are the kind of different call outcomes which I've created or included in my kind of call outcome segmentation. So completed is obviously they've answered the calls, answered the qualifying questions, and booked an appointment. Yes, that is what we want. Follow up. So if you phoned the person and they go, oh no, now's not a good time, the AI will know that that person was interested, but that at that point they didn't want to speak to you on the phone. It will know that from the call transcript, and then it will categorize them as follow up, i.e. we need to phone them back at a later date. Gatekeeper, if someone fills out the form and puts like the reception number for their business, and you call and it goes through to reception, you say, hey, is this Matt from FutureFlow? But it's Matt's assistant called, I don't know, Tracy, and she says, no, you can't speak to Matt right now. Matt's very busy. Then we know that that person's a gatekeeper, and we don't want to be speaking to gatekeepers, so the AI just says, okay, cool, I can call back at another time, hangs up the phone, and then they go as a gatekeeper. DNA, did not answer. If the person didn't answer, we want to follow up with them again. This is important for the lead nurturing aspect of the workflows. And then obviously voicemail, if it just went straight to voicemail, it's kind of the same situation with do not answer. We want to phone that person back. So these are the different call outcomes that I have. We put that in the prompt here, and then we only have one property for the structured data, which is the call outcome. And if we, I don't even have a description. Don't even need a description for this one because it's already in the prompt. I'll give you all this stuff, by the way. Don't worry, don't be pausing this and scribbling notes because that's just a waste of time. So we've got the VAPI setup, we've got the tool. Now I'm going to show you the actual automation that we use to send the appointment link to the person live on the phone. So here we are in NAN, and I'm going to show you how this send appointment link automation works. But before I do, I'm going to address the fact that I am in different clothes. I had to stop my recording last night because my laptop was running out of charge and it was late. So there we go. And one other thing, when I was doing the setup of the tool and I changed the server URL, it's because I had the wrong automation up. So make sure that you don't do that. I've changed it back now. So make sure you're on the right automation. You click in here, you get your webhook, and then you put it into your VAPI tool server URL, because that's where the tool is going to send the information to. So we'll go tools, send appointment link, integration. I already changed it, but just to show you guys. Go save. Sweet. Okay, so let's get into this automation itself. Now, whether you've used automations before or whether you haven't, this might look confusing, but I literally don't even use 2/3 of it, and I'll tell you why. So what we have here is the webhook. So this is what the tool in VAPI, that's where it's sending the information to. So let's show you an example of what that would look like. Let's go executions. Executions is just successful tool calls that I've done. So go in here. So this is what it might look like when you actually send the information to the webhook. So it comes in this kind of weird table structure. If you're used to using make.com, this table structure might look weird to you. So you can change it to JSON. No one likes reading in JSON unless you're a nice code developer person, which is not me. So I like to do schema. So schema makes it a lot more intuitive, and to be honest, anything that's more like make.com is so much better for understanding. So I like to use the schema table. So what you'll see is if we come down, we've got send appointment link. So remember, in the tool, the only piece of information that we needed was the phone number. Okay, and that's what we can see here: the name of the tool call ID, etc., etc. So now in edit fields, by the way, so many people do this edit fields thing or put in this module and then don't tell anyone what's in the edit fields. It's so annoying. So I'm going to show you. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to try and blur this out, but if I can't, you can't even see the last numbers anyway, so it doesn't even matter. So what we're going to do here is to actually send the appointment link, we need to have specific pieces of information. So the first piece of information we have here is the calendar ID. So the calendar which the person is going to be booking into through the appointment link in GoHighLevel. So when you go into GoHighLevel, you'll see, in fact, you know what, let's just go in. When you go into your calendars, you'll be able to see calendar IDs. Now, don't hate on me because my calendars aren't very well organized. Calendar settings. Here we go. So calendar ID is just under here. You just copy that, stick it in there. Location ID. So this is your sub account location ID. So again, business profile. Location ID is here. Okay. Then we have authorization. So this is the GoHighLevel API authorization bearer token. Now, when you're connecting GoHighLevel to third-party automations, it doesn't the generic, or I don't even know what the name is, the generic API or bearer token that GoHighLevel gives you doesn't let you do this. So you actually have to go and create a private integration API. The way you do that is just on the settings here, private integrations, and you see I've got my NAN one here, I've got a Zoom one here. Literally just go create new, enter the name, enter the description, let's say NAN integration, simple. To be honest, I'm picking and choosing just because I don't want to seem lazy, but in all honesty, I just select all of them when I do this because it just makes your life easier. If you need something, you can get it. You don't need to come back and edit the scopes. So once you've selected all the scopes, hit create, and then you'll get a bearer token. So it doesn't actually show you the bearer token. If you want to view it again, you need to refresh it and then put in the new one. We don't need to do that right now because I have mine here. Then phone, first name. These are data points which we're going to get from the webhook. So when the VAPI AI assistant sends us information, we're going to take that information from the webhook. So it's going to change each time we send information so that it's personalized to each person. Because, yeah, it needs to be personalized. You can't be sending the appointment link to the same person every time. Okay, so now we have search contacts, and this part is actually really important, and it kind of plays into the whole process of this all. So if we take it back all the way to the very start where we said that this is an outbound phone call to people who have submitted a form, and basically in GoHighLevel, which I'll show you, when someone submits a form, in the automation we automatically create a contact. So before the person's even had a call, before this automation has even been sent, they have their contact has been created in GoHighLevel. They have been created as a contact. I don't know. You get what I mean. So basically, we take the phone number and then we can search for that contact in our GoHighLevel database just by the phone number. And by the nature of how this is set up, every single person that is getting called or has entered this into automation will be a contact, which is why the rest, so from here, I think from here is irrelevant, because this switch module is for if the contacts are found. As you can see, this is just in this module, you're basically saying that we only want to find one contact. This JSON script in the GoHighLevel API documents, to actually, I'll just show you that. This is it here. For these HTTP requests, sometimes if this was blank, right, it would ask you to add the parameters which you need. But to make it way less confusing, what we can do is, if we know that we're searching for contacts, we can go into this high-level API documentation. We've got search contacts, and we can just go like this. CURL, copy, import CURL, and then it will give you the parameters that you need to fill out. So in here, it says the headers that you need. So the headers are these things here, header parameters. And we know that we need the authorization and we need the version. So the authorization is the bearer token, which I just explained, the private API key, which we've just created, and then the allowed value for the version, which it gives you there. So they're the only two headers that you need to run this HTTP request. Then if we come down to JSON, we're going to use JSON, using JSON, and then we're going to use the JSON response which GoHighLevel needs to search for the contact. Now, they're going to give you this long thing that looks really confusing, because you could search for a contact using a couple of different fields. So you could use like their contact ID or their address or even their name, but sometimes I don't like to use the name because some people might have the same name. So I like to use obviously the phone number, and that's what I've done here. So we're searching the location ID, so that is searching my specific sub account. We're going to go limit to 1, so we only want to find one contact. We're going to search by the phone, and then the value is their phone number. I'll put this all in the same document that I'll put the prompt in. If you guys want me to make a video about how this stuff works and how to kind of work out the response examples, then let me know, because I know that's something that a lot of people find pretty confusing. But for this case, I'm going to give you all this stuff so you don't need to have the hassle of going through that yourself. So we come to the switchboard. As you can see here, this switch basically just identifies if the contact was found or it wasn't found. So if we found something, it will be equal to 1. If we didn't find something, it won't be equal to 1. But as I said, in this situation, we should always find one because the person literally just filled out the form. So contact found comes here, and this HTTP request is sending the SMS. Okay, I'm actually going to rename this. Send appointment link 1. So this is the HTTP request where we can actually send the lead a text message in GoHighLevel with the appointment link. So in the automation, once it's found the person, it will come here and then it will send the appointment link. If it was successful, we send a message back to the AI to say that it was successful. So this is the results. Tool call ID. Great. Just sent the message. Could you check if you make sure you received it? So when the AI actually says this, they should have already received it. So they'll say, oh yeah, I got it. Perfect. The reason we put in these couple of different kind of fallbacks is in case this send appointment didn't work. So we try again. If it doesn't work again, we try again. And I don't know, I should have it set up. What you can see here, if you see in the JSON script here, if we say type SMS, this one's SMS, and the final one should be, oh, so what is it? Could change that to WhatsApp. So if the text messages aren't sending for whatever reason, we're going to try and send them a WhatsApp. If all of those fail, we're going to send ourselves a Twilio text to say that there's been an error with that, and that this error message will have the contact, the webhook, why it failed, everything about this lead, so we can kind of pinpoint which lead had the error, and then we can go in and fix it. And this response will just say there has been an error, seems I had an issue sending the link, but no worries, I have your number, so I'll organise for a booking link to be sent once the call is finished. So that was what I was alluding to before when I said that if there is an error, we'll notify ourselves, we'll know which contact it was that had the error, and then we can go and manually send them the appointment link. So this is, on that point, I think this is something that's important to kind of note, is that with all of these AI systems, yes, you can automate like 90% of things, but you still need that kind of human element to make sure that everything's running smoothly. And that's something that we offer, obviously, to our clients. We have people checking to make sure, checking errors and being kind of on call to make sure that everything's running smoothly, because the AI sometimes doesn't work. That is just the truth. Sometimes it can't send the message for whatever stupid reason it might be. 90% of the time it does, but for those 10% of times that it can't, then we have people on call to make sure that, the lead interactions are as smooth as possible and we're booking in as many appointments as we can. So what you can see here is obviously these webhooks capture data and these webhooks send data back. So this is literally just a message back to the AI to say, yep, it's been sent, or nope, there's been an error, like we will sort that for you. So that is basically how we send the appointment link. The tool sends this message, we configure the fields that we need, search for the contact, it will find the contact, and then we send the message. Once it's successful, we send the message back to the AI to say that the appointment link has been sent. And if it hasn't, we receive an error message and let the person on the phone know that we will send them an appointment link after the phone call has ended. So now that we've went over that, I'm going to dive into GoHighLevel and show you guys the lead nurturing workflow which I've created, and then also how we can manage the leads in the pipelines using the VAPI end of call reports. Before we go over to GoHighLevel, I just watched back that last wee part there and I realised that I skipped over something that is probably pretty important, and I hate it when other people do that. So here we've got this URL which I told you guys about before. So we've got search contacts and then the URL. I think a lot of people get confused. Oh, what's that URL? Where can I find? I don't know what I'm doing. Really simple, okay guys? So search contacts, we're in search contacts, this URL here. We just copy it and then we paste it. Okay, so same for this one. We're sending messages in GoHighLevel. So let's just do this. Oh, my bad. Messages. Get message. Send a new message. Here. Copy. And then paste. And we do that for each one. Okay? So, now we'll go to GoHighLevel. Okay, so now we are in GoHighLevel. I'm going to show you how you can actually integrate your VAPI assistant directly in GoHighLevel lead nurturing workflows. So as you can see here, I've got a lead flow AI form call, and basically what that means is once someone submits the form, I want the AI to phone that person and ask the qualifying questions. So obviously the trigger that we have is form submitted. Like I said, with the any automation, that automatically creates a contact, which means that we can then pull the information from their form into the call. Now I like to set up an internal notification just to say, look, someone submitted the form. Then we're going to have a 30-second drip. This drip is because with Twilio numbers, if you're in the fortunate situation where you have lots of people filling out the form at the same time, you can't phone them all at once. You need to drip them through, or sometimes your Twilio numbers can get blocked. Then we need to format the number. So when GoHighLevel gets numbers in the forms, it will format it automatically into whatever country format that is. So for my example, I'm obviously UK time. Even if I put in +447 blah blah blah, whatever my number is, it's going to automatically format it into 07 da 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 da, and you can't actually initiate the calls with that format of numbers. So we need to format it into this E164 format. So very simple. Format number, select field, their phone number, which is raw, whatever phone number, so what the format that we want, which is this E164, and then I've set this for UK country codes. Obviously if your form submission is directed to the US audience, you'd set that to US or whatever. Then we want to set the number, so the formatted number, as a field in the contact so that we can pull it into the initiate call custom webhook. So that's all that I've done here. So update contact field, I've made a new field in my GoHighLevel custom fields. I'll just quickly show you that here because I know some people might not know what that is. Custom fields, where are you? Here we are. Custom fields. So we go E1. Here we are. E164 number. E164 number. And I'll just, in this automation, I'm attaching this formatted number and updating it in their, custom field as their E164 number. Then initiate the call. So this is a custom webhook. Obviously we've got action name, first call, event, custom, method, post, because we're sending information to VAPI to initiate the call. Now, as you'll see here, this URL, this is the similar situation that we had to the NAN workflow, where we need to get a URL from the place that we want the action to happen. So in the NAN example, we wanted the action to happen in GoHighLevel, so we had to go and get that server or the URL from GoHighLevel, and the same is with VAPI. The reason mine says custom values URL is because I don't want to have to either remember what that URL is to initiate phone calls. I just have it saved as a custom value. So I'll show you that similar to the number thing. So we'll go Lucas AI agent. Sorry, I found it wasn't a custom field, it's a custom value. I'm gonna have to blur that out. But yeah, we've got the assistant ID, got our bearer token, so this is our VAPI bearer token. We've got the phone number ID that we're going to use to call the agent with, and then we've got this URL. So this is the URL which you use to initiate calls through this custom webhook to VAPI. Obviously the phone number ID and the assistant ID will change depending on what agents you're setting up. So I actually think in this automation I had to switch the agents because I was trying a new prompt formula, and instead of going into my custom values and changing them there, I just changed them directly in the custom webhook, which you probably will see. But yeah, this is the URL and it's this value here. So that would be our custom URL. It would basically be literally just that. Copy. Doesn't matter what I put in, it'd just be the exact same. Bearer token, this is the part that I'm going to blur out in the video, but you just take your VAPI API private token and put that in there. Obviously that's probably a good one to have as a custom value, because if you're making calls for your business or a specific client, you're probably going to have it from the same VAPI account, so that one's a good one to mark as a custom value. We're going to go content type JSON, and then we're going to see this bit here. Now, this is the similar situation to doing the raw JSON bodies in the NAN workflows, but as you can see here, the setup is pretty simple. We've got assistant ID, and then we've got assistant overrides. Now, assistant overrides is what allows us to add in the variable values, so those dynamic pieces of data from the form. So like I said in my example, mine was I want to include the person's name, and that field within GoHighLevel is known, this is what it's referred to in the key, so to speak. So I can show you here that field. If we go folders, contact, first name, contact first name. So when they submit the form, when they put in their full name, which I'll show you, GoHighLevel automatically separate the first name and the last name, and then that field will be, the key for that field is contact first name. So we put that in there. Then obviously company name, and then my key field is contact dot name underscore of underscore business, just because I was having some issues with the GoHighLevel kind of default, which was company name. So that's the only reason that mine looks like that. But whatever one that you're using, you just come into GoHighLevel and you find what the key is, and then you just paste it in there. So then we've got customer number. So that is coming through from the form. Remember we said that it has to be in the format. So E164 number, this is the results from this bit here. Okay, so this bit is the result of this, because that module here is outputting the number in the format that we need to actually initiate the call. Okay, and then phone number ID is, we get that from VAPI, so I'll show you that very quickly. So we come into VAPI and we can find the phone number ID here. Put that to the lead flow demo. So this is your phone number ID here. Just copy that, put it into here. And obviously, like I said before, the assistant ID. So this is whatever assistant that you're using for the call. So in this example, I've got the lead flow demo, the assistant ID is here, copy that and put it in up here. Now you could, like I did, make these custom values so you don't need to go in and find them if you're creating or integrating the same agent into different workflows. But for this example, the agent is just for this workflow, so it makes sense to just have these here. So I know there's a wee red dot here, but it's because I don't have any contacts. I've not ran any contacts through this form, so it can't actually pick up the contact first name. But when we do the test, it will work. So that's how you can initiate calls within GoHighLevel for VAPI agents. The hardest part is literally this bit. And actually, if we go into VAPI, so in VAPI, this is how you kind of find this information here in the VAPI API documents, because we're creating a call. I was going to show you how you actually find the different elements within this, but I'm going to leave that for a more detailed video, because I know this is an aspect that a lot of people have an issue with, and I kind of wanted to keep this video as short as I could to just show you a demonstration of how it works. But I am going to make a video about how to actually know what you're doing when you're pulling the raw JSON files or data from VAPI and putting it into the custom webhook URL. So unfortunately, I'm not going to do that today, but I will do that at some point. So now we have, we know how to integrate the VAPI Assistant directly into our GoHighLevel workflows. And I'm just going to show you the rest of the workflow and how I actually nurture leads rather than just phoning them once. So we've got the first call here. We want to add the call count. We kind of want to get an idea of how many calls that we're making, wait for the call to finish, if the call was answered or not answered, and we're going to find that out in the end of call report, which I'm going to show you after this. So if you see this here, it will, we'll have added a tag, either answered or did not answer, and then that will help us funnel it into the further lead nurturing. So if it was answered, we're just going to hold that person there for 30 days because they've been answered, they'll get updated in the pipeline, and then we can do whatever we need to do from there. If they didn't answer, this is only going to wait 3 seconds because we want to double dial. You know, it might be a situation where someone's had their do not disturb on, so we want to phone them again so that we can get through. We're going to remove all the campaign tags so that we can get the most up-to-date knowledge of what's happened with that lead. So, when the call finishes in the end of call report, that lead is then tagged so that we know what's happened with that lead. But we don't want to have loads of different misleading tags. So for example, if someone went through as an error, right, and then they come down to here, they go on to, if the remove campaign tags wasn't here and they just got called again and then they answered, that lead would then have the error tag, an answered tag, and a bunch of different tags, and it wouldn't give us a clear picture of what's actually happened with that lead. So each time we want to, contact them again, we want to remove all the tags and then re-tag them after stuff has happened, like the most up-to-date thing that has happened. So if there was an error, for whatever reason, if the call didn't go through or there was an error with the agent or whatever that is, we want to know about that. So we add an error tag, put them into the error pipeline or stage in the pipeline, send an internal notification, and then after we receive the internal notification, we can then go into that stage of the pipeline and review and possibly or diagnose why that was an error. And then if we can see why there's an error and we have no issues and that we can fix it, then we know that in a day's time it's just going to go back into the workflow and they will get called again. So second call or first call, second dial, add the call count, wait for the call to finish, find out the outcome of the call, if it was answered, if they didn't answer, and so on. Then we send them a text, just like, hey, it's Lucas from Leadflow here, saw your phone session in, just trying to give you a call to ask a few more questions. If I caught you at a bad time, it's no problem, I can give you a call back tomorrow. Then we wait a day, remove all the tags again, and then we do the second call. And the setup's literally the exact same. the exact same. Add the call count, wait for the call to finish. What was the outcome of the call? Second call, second dial. We're double dialing every time. Did not answer again, we can leave them a voicemail. Wait a day, third call, add to the call count. Did not answer, third call, second dial. Leave them one last text, and then if they were unresponsive after that, we can add them to the 90-day hold. Leads were unresponsive, and in that part of the pipeline, we can see which leads filled out the form but never answered any of our phone calls or text messages, and then we can re-engage those leads after. I've just put 90 days, you could put 10 days, 30 days, however long you want. So in this example, I've shown you how we can nurture leads directly in GoHighLevel using a mixture of AI voice agents, AI text, and also voicemail. Now, I'm not going to do this in this video, but we can also set up AI text appointment setters. So for example, if we called them here and we left them a text message and then they replied to the text message, this would stop the rest of the workflow. So we would remove them from the workflow, and then we would nurture those leads in the text and using text messages rather than phone calls, because we don't want to be texting them in a conversation and then phone the lead. It wouldn't really make sense. So yeah, that is how we do the lead nurturing directly in GoHighLevel with the AI callers. So now I'm going to show you how we actually update the information about that lead in GoHighLevel, and how we can then review the leads based on what's happened in the communications. So this is our AI form call end of call report automation. And basically what that means is when the AI finishes at the end of every call, no matter what's happened, if they didn't answer, if there was an error, if they did answer, the AI sends an end of call report, and it sends it to this webhook here. And how we do that is this inbound webhook will have a URL, which is this. Okay, we just copy that, come to our AI agent, okay, and we paste it in here in the messaging server URL. So that's the same because I've already got that. And server messages, we only want to send end of call reports and function calls. I actually had an issue where the status update was ticked, and when I was receiving messages to the end of call report, every second kind of message or end of call report didn't have the data or values that I was looking for, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why is that not working? And then I realized that for every one call it was sending 2 messages, and then I was like, how has that happened? And then obviously I looked at the server messages and saw that it was giving this status update, and we have no use for the status update in this situation. So if you're setting that up and you're getting that same problem, then untick the status update. So we receive, the server messages into this inbound webhook, so it's sending us the end of call report. Similar situation here, we want to drip them by 30 seconds, and we want to update the contact. So here we've got call outcome, call transcript, call duration, recording, summary. In fact, actually, I don't think we need that anymore because of the way that I changed it, but we'll keep continue. I've got a Google Sheet here. It's just a second way of seeing all the people or what happened in the calls. You don't really need to do that. But because this is an outbound AI form call, we don't need to look at the inbound or the none column. We just go down to outbound phone call. We log the outbound call, so call log. Here we go. Actually, this is really important. So the call log is basically, it's going to update the notes of the contact. That's what this call log means. So we want to give it when was the call date, ended reason, summary, transcript, outcomes, and recordings. And then when the call is finished, if you go into the contact and GoHighLevel on the notes, all this information is going to be there, which is why I said that this doesn't really matter, because it's going to get updated into the call log anyway. So then we come down to ended reason, kind of trying to involve every eventuality here. Obviously a lot of these, i.e. the assistant error, pipeline error, or Twilio error, rarely happens, but we want to know if it's happened when it does. So we set up those internal notifications. If we get to a voicemail, we want to put the go to follow up, because we want to follow up with that person again if it goes to voicemail. If the customer was busy and did not answer, we want to follow up with them as well. If they did answer, we want to categorize what happened to that lead when they answered the phone. So, like I showed you in the VAPI Assistant for the setup, we have completed, follow-up, gatekeeper, voicemail, did not answer, or error. And basically when the call finishes, because we've put that in the structured data prompt for VAPI, it will be able to identify which of these categories the lead falls into based on the call. And that's the real power of the AI. It's being able to see what's happened and understand what's happened, and then categorize the lead based on that. So obviously completed, like I said before, if they've answered the questions, cool, that'll go into the pipeline and completed. Follow up, we want to tag all these, and then these are just tags, very simple. Answered, oh, that should be follow up. Forgot to do this part. I'll just do this part and then we'll come back to it. Okay, so I've updated all the tags, make sure they're all correct, and then update in the pipeline. So this is the important part. If we're phoning the leads, we want to know where they are in the pipeline. So AR form call completed, lead flow demo pipeline, and then stage. So to do that, you obviously need to create a pipeline in GoHighLevel, which I can show you just now. So we're in opportunities. Obviously I've got the lead flow demo pipeline here. It doesn't have any leads in it because it's a demo. Go to pipeline, lead flow demo pipeline, and then we just insert all of the outcomes as stages in the pipeline. So the incomplete, that's like the 30 or the 90-day hold, which I have. So put 90-day hold. Did not answer, voicemail, gatekeeper, follow-up, completed, or error as well. So when the person fills out the form and they receive the call information is going to get sent to GoHighLevel in the end of call report, and then based on that we can categorize the leads into whatever stage in the pipeline depending on what happened on the call. And that's really the power of this system. We can stay on top of what's actually happening with the leads after the call finishes. So now that you kind of see, one last thing. Before you set up your automation, you need to create the pipelines so that you can assign these values to the pipeline. So you need to, if you created this, so if I update opportunity, the pipeline needs to be there for me to select it. So you actually need to go into GoHighLevel and create the pipeline in the different stages before you start creating this. Boom, pipeline stage, perform submitted, whatever, cancel that. So that's essentially how we set up the lead nurturing, and then how we set up the contact information updating process. So now that you have both of those things, I'm going to give you a live demonstration of what that would look like in action. So I've made a really simple form for lead flow. I'm going to get a call from the AI agent. I'm going to speak to it. I'm going to answer some of its questions. It's going to try and book me in for an appointment by sending me the appointment link, and then my contact details should be updated within GoHighLevel, and I will show you what that looks like as well. So I'll be back with the form. Okay, so here we are at the form. I'm just going to pretend to be someone interested in lead flow's services. So I'm just going to fill out my name, Matthew Conn. My company name is Future Flow. So this is the part that I was talking about. It automatically formats it into the kind of country structure. So even if I put +447, it's going to automatically do that, which is why we need to put in the E164 number formatter in the workflow. So just continuing on, Matt, Future Flow, and I should receive a call after I hit this button if it all goes well. Here we go.
Hi, this is Lucas from Lead Flow. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, Lucas.
Just to make sure, is this Matthew from Future Flow?
It is.
Great. As I said, my name's Lucas. I'm calling from Lead Flow. I saw your form submission come in and I wanted to give you a quick call to find out some more details. Do you have 2 minutes to chat?
Yeah, I do.
Great. Just to let you know, this call is recorded to make sure I'm helping you to the best of my ability. To start things off, what made you fill out the form?
I saw that you guys could, help people get leads, and I'm interested in getting more leads for my business.
Got it. And if we could help you create a system that gets you a consistent flow of leads, how would that impact your business or even your life more generally?
If I could get more leads, then I can get more business and more money, and hopefully go on some more nice holidays.
Love to hear it. And if you had to choose just one thing that might stop you from working with us, what would that be?
Probably just the price.
Got it. Price is definitely something to consider. How does that compare to the potential upside of generating a consistent flow of leads? Could achieving that make a difference for you?
Yeah, definitely. If you guys can get me the leads, then I'm more than happy to pay for your service.
Got it. Well, Matthew, from what you've told me, it sounds like we could definitely help you out. It's not my job to pitch you on anything right now, but if you were open to it, we could arrange a time in the next few days to jump on a quick video call to discuss how we could help you out. Would you be open to that?
Yeah, sure.
Fantastic. I'm going to text you a link where you can choose a time that suits you. Can you just confirm
This
what's
is
the
the
best
queue.
number to send a link to?
Yeah, 07.
Just a sec. I've sent a link to your number. Let me know when you've received it, and I'll stay on the line while you find a time that works.
Okay, give me 2 seconds.
Take your time. Let me know once you got it.
Okay, I'm going to go with tomorrow at 2 p.m, if that's cool with you.
Perfect. Well, that's everything for now. If you have any questions between now and your call, please do not hesitate to send us a message. Otherwise, we are really looking forward to potentially working together. Have a wonderful day, and we will speak to you soon.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So, that went pretty smoothly. I got the link, I booked in directly on my phone at a time that suited me, and now I'm going to show you how that updates directly in GoHighLevel. So, if we look at the enrollment history, like I said, like I showed you on the call, that first step was being processed. If we go to the end of call report, sorry, let me get that. End of call report. Enrollment history. We've got that there as well. So obviously it's still at the processing step. Usually it does update pretty quickly, so have a look here. We'll go into the contacts. My contact is there. Go to opportunities. Obviously it's not updated yet. Let's just see here. Builder. So still here. It's taking its time. I'll cut back to once it's updated. Okay, so just a minute later, that has updated. So I am in the completed column of the pipeline. And remember, the completed, anyone who's categorized as completed is someone who answered the phone, answered the qualifying questions, and booked in for a call. So I'm going to show you what actually gets updated within the contact details. So if we come in here, we can see that there's a recording of the call. The opportunity has been updated. If we find, where's the tags? Oh, you can actually just see the tags here. We can see that this has been tagged, sorry, answered, call date, etc. Come in here, look at the notes, and we can see all the details about that specific call. Now, if there was multiple calls, this would all be in the notes as well. It just gets updated as a call log, and you'll be able to separate it by the call recording. So it'd almost be like a big long list. But as you can see here, we've got call date, why the call was ended. This is probably more important when it comes to people who've either followed up or just answered the phone and not really said anything. That can sometimes be a bit awkward. But there's also, call summary. Give whoever is going to jump on that appointment a lot more context about that person. So a quick summary, answers to the qualifying questions. Why did you fill out the form? If we could get you a consistent flow of leads, how would that change your life? What might be one thing stopping you, and can that be overcome? Then there's obviously a transcript of the full call, so if the person who's taking the appointment wants to read that to get a better idea of, was the lead interacting quite well, what type of, tone or attitude did they have. It's always good to get a better feel of who you're jumping on a call with. So yeah, that is how we update the contact fields from the phone calls using the end of call report. So that's the end of today's video. I hope you guys got a ton of value from it. I've shown you how to set up your AI voice agent in VAPI, shown you how to send appointment links to leads directly on the call, and how to integrate those AI voice agents directly into GoHighLevel. If you enjoyed this video and got some value from it, then please leave a like. This is my first video, so any support is very much appreciated. If you're interested in seeing more videos like this one, then hit the subscribe button. And if you're a business or an agency looking to implement these services into your business, then I have a link in my profile where you can book in a call, and we'll see if this is something that we can implement for you. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, peace.